Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Culturally Distinct Sports. I'm your host, Jessica. I've got my co-host, Jackie J.Mitchell.
Hello.
Troy, what up?
What's up?
There go Troy.
You got a new hat.
Funny hat on.
Hey, I like it. I mean,
Right.
not necessarily the Saint. I mean, no shade against Saints, but New Orleans, we rooting for them
That's
after
right.
what they've been through.
Exactly.
Definitely. So
Win Super Bowls after hurricanes, goddammit.
exact. Well, let's not go. Yeah, I was like gonna say, let's slow it down.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Let's slow it down.
And I mean,
All right. Well, how y'all doing on this fine day?
man, I'm doing actually excellent. Had a little bit of confusion this morning, but all is well.
Okay. Are you talking about what just happened?
I don't know what just happened, but we had some confusion this morning, but all is well.
We worked it out. How you doing, Troy?
All is well. I think I had a quick turnaround trip back home yesterday where I went home not realizing
Tell them where home is, our viewers.
Baton Rouge.
Okay.
So I drove from Houston to Baton Rouge yesterday, knowing that I was going to have to come right back. But I wasn't thinking about the fact that a hurricane just ravaged that whole area and there's no gas. So I drove there, and I'm like, damn, I got to find some gas so I can get back home. So I spent all last night driving around town until I found some gas.
Yeah, I saw
How
that on the
was that?
news. I saw that.
Baton Rouge has no gas either.
No
power?
They have power. A lot
Just-
of people had their power back. But,
Okay.
But the gas shortage is running rampant.
And you're in a truck.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was kind of mad too, man, because I normally put Exxon Supreme gas in my truck.
Mm-hmm.
When I got there, I had to put like a half a tank of Shell regular gas. So I had a mixture of Chevron, Exxon, regular, Supreme.
Put some gas treatment.
That bothers
You
me, man.
okay.
That bothers
You
me.
okay, Troy? Your
It
truck
You know
bothers
is
what?
me.
You
So-
made it back safe. That's all that matters.
No.
You made it
I
there
made it
safe.
back.
Made it back safe.
Like I had to put the engine on sports sitting on the way back. I got to burn all this
Burn it
bullshit
all
out
out.
of my thing.
Have you noticed how he babies his truck?
I mean, I got to drive
Most
that thing.
people
I got to
do
get 300,000 miles out of that thing.
Most people do that. Yeah. I'm the same way with my car. So
We're going to jump into some sports stuff.
Let's go.
Actually, some Texas sports stuff.
Okay.
I mean, not so positive if you ask me. But I'm going to get y'all's take on this. So this is news that came out earlier this summer, but it went under the radar. The Texas governor, who we all know, so there was a law signed that said that any professional teams will lose out on government funding if the national anthem is not played at their pro game. So I don't know. Jackie looks like he was aware of this. Were you aware of this? Okay. So, but the reason it's news to me now, and I know I sent you fellas this offline, is because with all the other stuff that we won't talk about politically, there's 1,000,001 bills, sadly, in Texas that I'm not a fan of that just passed.
September the 1st.
Yes. I love the people of Texas. Don't love the bills. Don't love what's happening. So this was one of the ones that came up in that article that, again, it's under the radar. Nobody's saying nothing.
You know what I'd say to that? It's just go back to not playing it. Like, stop playing the anthem. In my mind, they're exploiting the flag. They're exploiting the military, especially the NFL. You charge the military to lay this big flag across the field and the flyovers and all of that foolery. Just stop playing the anthem, man. It's too divisive.
Yeah,
So
controversial.
it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah.
Not just controversial, it's divisive. It's pretty. That's a shame that we're talking about the flag and the anthem being divisive, but hell, it is. Stop playing it. That's my take.
Yeah, and I know J.Mitchell is chomping at the bit to say something. I want to hear it.
No, I don't. I'm not chomping. It's just I agree with Troy. I agree with you because at the end of the day, there's separatism. There's division. I mean, it is. So it's like instead of dealing with that, you know, because it's not land of the free and home of the brave. It's not. It's really, really not. So
No.
you know. So if for years, it's been so many things that flag has encompassed positively and negatively. I mean, Colin Kaepernick pretty much lost his career over the flag, over the kneeling.
Yep.
Pat Tillman, which I respect, thank you, R.I.P. But he's a hero. Played the Arizona Cardinals, a couple years ago, died in the war. He's a hero over the flag. But you've had military responses and military commanders and people who've been in the military who said that's not what the flag is about. They didn't have a problem with Colin Kaepernick. So to me, it's divisive, it's controlling, and I'm with Troy. They just don't play it.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask y'all, and I know we don't like to get into these what ifs, but if you're a professional sports team owner here in Texas, I'm serious, real question, because y'all could be one day. Hopefully this law is not there at that time. Would you not play? Would you tell them not to play the anthem?
I would,
and take
if
the
I
hit?
could, if I could get away with not playing it and still get my money.
No,
then we're just not gonna.
You
play
don't get
it.
your money because that's what this
If we
law
don't
says.
play the anthem, no, the law says you have to stand for the anthem. What does the law say?
So the law is they will not get government funding
If they don't play the anthem.
the
They don't
anthem.
play it.
Yeah, that's tough,
Pro
man.
sports teams.
You
So
know,
if you're a pro
you got to get in
sports
a
owner-
billionaire mindset. When you start messing with their pockets,
No, I'm just
Things start to
how
happen.
far will you go with your stance?
I don't know.
That's a hard question to ask someone, especially me, because I'm a real stickler on morals. I'm a real stickler on just treating people like I like to be treated. But as Troy says, a billionaire mindset. But if I'm that decision maker, then when I look at my team, you're 85 to 90% African American
Yep.
or some type of minority. So if you look at the sports owners, besides Mark Cuban,
Which he's not playing it.
exactly. Well, besides Mark Cuban, that's why I put it out there. If you got the McNair family, if you got the Jerry Joneses, if you got, I don't know who owned the Rangers, I don't know who owned the Dallas Stars, but that's why I tip my hat to Mark Cuban, because he realizes the friction that it causes. But like you said, if you're that owner, I think you have to do what's right in your heart, to me, because you're gonna make your money. People still gonna come to the games, So I wouldn't play it.
Yeah. If it's not affecting the bottom line, it's an easy
Yeah,
decision.
yeah, I wouldn't play it. Me personally, being a sports owner, I wouldn't play it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you got to, how many more? I know billionaires can never have enough money, but how much more do you need funding? I mean, are you willing to take that out of your own pocket is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I want to know how much Texas is giving their professional teams.
Yeah, they don't say it. They just say they will not get government funding if it's not played.
But a lot of these owners, the states subsidize these billion-dollar stadiums and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Taxpayer dollars.
yeah, I never understood that either. But hey,
Oh, it also says it might lead to financial penalties if they do not play it as well. There's that option too.
I wouldn't care about that.
I mean, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody decides to do what Mark Cuban does.
man.
But we're going to move on. And sadly, our guy got cut. Jackie's going to talk about that.
That bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
we were.
But yes, for Cam Newton, he was released by the New England Patriots, and it's been a lot of stories that's out there. I counted to 2 or 3 things myself. Not what Mac Jones didn't do, but what he did do. He was consistent. He had to be, they drafted him in the first round for a reason. That's their future. So I understand that. The COVID protocol, he didn't get the shot. So you miss 5 days of practice. So if you're doing, 2 a days, that's 10 practices. You don't get the film. But also I think it was Belichick also really making a stand and realizing Cam's popularity and stardom, because he was an MVP of the league. So to sit him behind a rookie, I think Belichick probably looked at that as like a slap in the face to him. And Cam may not have accepted that role. And I don't blame him, but it's up to him to realize, what you want to do in your future. I'm hoping some team will give him an opportunity. He deserves it. Like I said, the things he's done in this league has been great in my eyes. He hasn't been healthy in the last couple of years. This may have been the healthiest he's been since leaving Carolina, or 2 years prior to leaving Carolina, because he bad back, bad shoulder, bad leg. He was a walking, nightmare as far as injury. But you still can't take his talent away. But I think for him being released, I didn't like it. But I'm once again, it's a business decision. I understand it from some points, my 3 points that I stated. But at the end of the day, I just hope he gets another opportunity.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you touched on a few things. So keeping him around could be a problem.
Could be a problem
if you're not starting him.
Exactly.
He's a big personality. He's
going to make the draw.
So I understand that aspect as well. You could think back to Belichick having to make that decision with Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe.
Correct.
And he started Drew Bledsoe.
Right.
And Brady just kind of fell into that role. But I think back then he wanted to start Tom Brady then.
Well,
but he was in the same situation where he had a veteran, a proven veteran.
Exactly.
And he didn't necessarily want to have him coming off the bench, and he went ahead and started Drew Bledsoe.
Right.
Which, you can say it was the right or the wrong decision, but if you think back on that, as a coach, you're probably telling yourself, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I got a rookie that's ready to go.
Right.
We're going to put him out there right now.
And he played well. I said, Mac Jones, you can't say he didn't play well in the preseason. He played well. He ran the offense. He scored points. He showed he know how to manage a game. But once again, that is preseason. So live bullets, will be soon. For Cam Newton, though,
what opportunities are out there for him?
For Cam?
Yeah. You going to go to a bad team or a backup on I don't know.
So for me, to me, just me. If the Saints, I would try to get him. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm not saying this because we always talk about the Saints, but
I've heard that already.
You would have to try to bring him in.
Maybe.
If I'm, this is crazy, but if I do have, it's going to sound crazy, but if I have the quarterback in Herbert, in LA, I'm thinking about that. The Chargers, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking because he could be a Mark Brunell. If he served 13 years in the league, Mark Brunell played almost 19 years in the league. 5 to almost 10 of those years were backup.
Yep.
So if Cam is willing to accept that, to be a coach on the field, he can have an extended career. But
of course
if he's willing to accept it.
Yeah. I don't see Cam accepting that. I don't see Cam, playing football till he's 38, 39 years old as a backup, mentoring and coaching. I don't know. That just doesn't seem like Cam's personality.
Oh, he's got other
I'd see him
ventures,
exactly. I'd see him putting the pads down and getting behind the camera or something before he be a backup for the next 10 years.
So, I would like to ask this question:
mm-hmm.
Is that because he's an African American quarterback?
No, it's because
most African American quarterbacks who were starters, that seems to be
what they do.
Stigma of what people have led to believe, he's too good to be a backup, and then their career just kind of fades out.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Michael Vick. Gino.
But McNabb didn't want to be a backup.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't want that role.
That's my question. Is that
And McNabb was done. I don't know what he was doing in Washington. You were tarnishing your legacy, man.
Well, I think that's twofold because we talked about this. Yeah. I'm going to pose this question as well. If you think back for the last 20 to 25 years, no African-American quarterback has had a good line. No, none in the league. I'll give you time to think about that.
No African-American quarterback has had a good offensive line.
Every African-American
quarterback had a good offensive line?
He had no help. Every African-American quarterback has been put into this league in the last 20 to 25 years. Look it up. They have not had the line. Give them the line of an Aaron Rodgers. Give them the line of a Drew Bledsoe. Give them a line of a Tom Brady. Give them the line of a Troy Aikman. Give them the line of those elites.
I get that.
But we're brought into the league as athletes.
Yeah. So, and you might be right about that. That's not the case in Baltimore, but
he has no line.
I could see you sort of neglecting your line. In my mind, you build a team from the inside out.
Okay.
You start with your offensive, defensive line, and you build around that.
Correct.
Especially if you're bringing in a franchise quarterback and you find yourself in a Joe Burrow situation. You got a franchise quarterback playing well with.
You brought up a great point for Baltimore. What did they do for that previous quarterback who won the Super Bowl?
They had an offensive line. They had a running game. They had a stellar defense. They built their team despite their quarterback. Now they feel like they have a franchise quarterback, so you neglect some of those other areas.
Exactly.
I get it, maybe.
Oh.
So
I get it, but I'm just saying you have people like Joe Burrow who's going into the situation that you're describing.
Correct.
You got a franchise quarterback with no offensive line. Like, when are you going to address that?
Yeah.
So
I want to clarify. So are you are you posing that it's the team or the players that with African American players?
It's the owners. It's the
Oh,
coaches.
that's what I
it's the
thought.
staff.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
not.
GM,
They're
yeah.
not putting
Yeah.
the correct pieces to protect
Right.
their investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
doubt.
make sure
We
I
saw it right here in
got
Houston.
what you were saying clearly.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. Number 2, and he's with no protection, running for his life.
Yeah.
R. Kelly of NFL.
Okay, bruh.
Oh man,
Where are our sound effects, y'all? We got to
I
get
just pressed something. I don't know what it is. I don't have my headset on.
I'm sorry.
Well, on that note, J.Mitchell, you're back to our sponsorship today. I'm sorry. I mean,
Look.
I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm not going to apologize. This is this is an honorable role to have.
I always get this awkward silence.
Because I'm caught off guard, man. I be caught off
He
guard.
plays this every Troy.
Don't.
Every
I'm caught
week
off
he
guard.
Says this.
You that
He's
way with
not-
I'm completely caught off
You're
guard.
not caught off guard. We have talked about this.
We have not.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
They're all on rotation.
okay. Let's talk about it.
Next week it's on me.
Okay.
It's actually on Troy. I was gonna put Troy out there.
That's
'cause
fine.
we-
You got
Yeah,
let me know
I was,
anytime.
that's what I'm about. I'm about to shout out Troy and
No,
his wife.
completely. I
Paint
just-
sticks.
completely.
That's what I'm about to shout out. I sponsor for this week is paint sticks for Mr. Troy D. Williams and his wife, Miss Angela Williams. So my thing is for you guys, if you ever need like a paint and sip, you want to hang out, you want to paint, you want to do some things real jazzy. She does an excellent job of getting it set up, and it's a great time. So this week's sponsor is Paint Sticks from Mr. Our co-host and friend and
That's right.
forever, number one in our hearts and all that type of jazz. But Paint Sticks, yes, thank you much for Paint Sticks this week for being our sponsor.
I like it, Jackie.
I'm
Appreciate
glad
it.
you did that because I was gonna put Troy on the
I
spot.
like it.
But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a good memory now.
okay, good. Thank you. See,
Yeah.
that wasn't that hard.
There is no name right there.
That's because I knew you weren't gonna
Name on the call sheet.
see what had happened was. Look, let's not.
I just know I can read.
Let's not do this. Are we gonna do this? Because that's what I'm gonna turn over here to Troy.
What are we talking about?
We go into high school sports, Troy.
Oh, okay. What happened in high school sports this week?
You the one. You got all the high school
So
tea over here.
everyone has heard about this whole Bishop Sycamore situation, right? So I decided, I just wanted to understand, like, sort of the timeline, like, where did this school come about? Me, like everyone else, had never heard of Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah.
Typically, when you're watching these high school games on ESPN, it's from a school that you've heard of, especially lately. You got high school games on ESPN every year now, so it's a normal thing. So apparently this, and remember this name, so Roy Johnson started a charter school called Christian's Faith Academy. And it was an online charter school. It was an online charter school, and they were facing some sort of scrutiny, investigated for fraud. So he basically squashed that, and in 2019 started what was called Youth Build Centurions.
So he already had a previous past.
Yes, he had a previous
Okay.
pass. So he tried to start a charter school called Christian's Faith Academy, and basically, when people started doing research, they couldn't find any classes. They couldn't find any evidence that it was an actual school. So facing that scrutiny, he just squashed it and went to Ohio and started another charter school, again called Youth Build Centurions, basically rebranding the Christian's Faith Academy. So again, he's a charter school. He had a football program, and eventually he rebranded that into what was Bishop Sycamore. So he went through 2 rebranding processes. So Bishop Sycamore in their inaugural season went 5-6. They scheduled only one Ohio school. This is an Ohio-based school. They played against one school that was actually from Ohio. And that one Ohio school wasn't even recognized by the Ohio State Athletic Association. So I'm not sure where they finding games at. So at any rate, so this is in 2019. They go 5-6 in their first season. In 2019, they tried to schedule a game against a school from West Virginia, and they found out they had a lot of players on their team that were over 18. So the West Virginia school was like, nah, we're not playing you guys. Fast forward to 2020, September 4th, 2020. Bishop Sycamore opens their season with a 35-0 loss against a non-conference opponent. That season, they played IMG Academy on ESPN and lost 56-6. I'm trying to figure out who were these kids and where are they finding them, how are they getting them. This year, they were scheduled to play IMG again. We all saw that debacle on ESPN. That's when people really starting to dig, like, where are these kids coming from?
So they got on ESPN last year.
In 2020 and again in 2021. They played IMG in 2020, and they got their heads kicked in. IMG decided to play them again the following season and beat up on them even worse. So this year, their first game this season was a 38-0 loss to Archbishop Hoban on August 19th. August 27th, they played a school called Rose Sox in Pennsylvania and lost 19-7. 2 days later, they fly out, go play IMG Academy on ESPN and get beat 56-0. Anyone who's played football at any level beyond middle school knows playing a football game in 2 days is,
rough.
It's rough. I hate Thursday games in the NFL for that reason.
Right.
With no
2
time
days
to
come
prepare.
back, come Sunday. Right.
So, 2 days after a game, man, you play on Saturday, you still feeling it on Monday. You're not trying to play another game. So, I don't know I don't know who made that decision. That coach is an idiot. But at any rate, he's just trying to get games. So people started to dig, and of course, they come to find out that they looked up the address of this school. It's apparently just some random house. No one knows who lives there. They couldn't find any evidence of them actually having classes online. Supposedly some of their players had already gone to a junior college, got kicked out of junior college and started playing with Bishop Sycamore. They had an active GoFundMe account trying to raise money. I guess they were simply raising money just to have football games. But this is probably the weirdest and strangest story that I ever heard in high school football. I don't know who this Roy Moore, what was his name again? I forgot his name. Roy Johnson. In my mind, he sounds like he's broken some law and probably needs to be sitting down somewhere.
I'm trying to figure
for
out
exploiting these kids like this. This is ridiculous.
I'm trying to figure out his angle. Is it just to be on like a platform? I don't know what his angle is.
I don't understand. Like, if you have all these ineligible kids, even let's say they were good. Let's say they beat IMG Academy 56-0. Now you got every college coach in the country trying to figure out who these Bishop Sycamore guys are and trying to figure out who these players are. At some point, it's going to catch up to you. Like, I want to know what makes him think that he was just going to continue to get away with this.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand. I don't know the motive.
What's the racket?
I don't know. But they've shut down everything. Their website shut down.
Mitchell looks like he's got the answer.
What you
Tell
got,
us.
Jackie?
Tell us.
Something.
Well, no, it's first off, many people don't know about prep schools or charter schools.
True.
You can be registered with the state as a charter school or a prep school biblically. As long as you're registered with the state, your classes don't have to be accredited, but you can register as a public charter or prep school first.
Yep.
2007, 2008, the exact same thing happened in Ohio. I was coaching at Southern University. I won't call the man's name, but he was coaching at the time. They had a prep school in Ohio. Coach Richardson, Coach Orlando, they went there.
Yeah.
Came back. It was the exact same story. It was a house. Students were there. The thing about it is, if you find an accredited foundation educationally, you can run that. You can run it. It doesn't have to be four walls, school-based.
Yep.
So the thing about it, like, most charter schools are not accredited. Some are, some are not. So in his defense, I'm not saying he's right, but in his defense, that's why probably the biblical thing happened first. And then the centurion things happened second. And then this thing happened. It didn't fade because even in the state of Texas, if you go right now and look online, you will see you can literally start a Bible college by registering with the state. Literally.
Yeah.
Registering with the state, giving that information. You can create your own curriculum.
Yeah.
You got a school.
Yeah.
You literally have a school.
But
so
that becomes a scam when you're not following that curriculum.
Right.
You're not teaching those
it
classes.
does. So, and like you stated, I don't know the age of the players.
Yeah.
No one knows the age of the players. I'm kind of torn. The reason I'm kind of torn because I didn't look at it as a racket. I looked at him possibly trying to help some kids gain exposure. I don't know if he gained any money from it monetarily. I'm pretty sure there was probably some money gains. There was probably some monetary, with ESPN showing that. But other than that, I don't know the gentleman to speak ill about him. They said he had a record. He had a warrant. Yeah. We don't know what that was for.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that.
Right. I don't care about any of that. So for me, I am, of course, if you got 25, 29-year-olds playing against 17, 18, that's not fair. But if he's trying to help some kids, even if you've been to the military, if you've been to the military, or if you've been incarcerated, if you come back out of that, you can go to college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do that. So it's like, if he had his records and if he had all his paperwork, to me, done properly, where those questions don't come up, then, I don't know. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I hope and I think his heart was in the right place.
I can't argue that.
Yeah.
He may have had good intentions.
Yeah. It may not have turned out the way he wanted to.
He may have had good intentions.
Right.
Trying to help some underprivileged kids.
Exactly. Because Ohio's tough, man.
I get all that. That's great.
Yeah.
But the rebranding.
This is just a real crappy way of doing it.
Yeah.
This is sloppy, man.
To opening and closing. By the way, I've worked for charters, Jackie, so I am very familiar as well. Right. And everything you say is on point.
Right.
You don't have to have a physical school.
You don't.
I mean, I've been in the field with those schools.
I've worked at them.
Yeah,
and I've started
exactly,
one. So
everybody
thought it was a racket, but it's not. It's really, really not.
But here's what I'm going to say. You might, when you're doing what he's doing, you might not want to put Bible and Christian to it. I'm just saying.
It's the easiest way to get it going.
I'm just saying.
I promise it. Praise Jesus.
I'm just
saying. Am I lying?
I am not disagreeing, but that's the easiest way. I promise you, after the show, I will show you. It's the easy. You can literally go online, go to the state of Texas, say you have a Bible college. You can say, I have this. You submit your curriculum. You are now a school.
I know.
So, crazy. I mean, if he did that, he's right. By the state law, if he followed that, I don't know about the name. I don't know why he changed all of that. But if he did that and that's regulatory by state law, he's not wrong.
No, he's not. Where it becomes wrong is when you don't have any online classes. That's the problem.
We don't know what.
Like, you got these kids playing football, they're not taking any class. That's a problem.
It was a school 3 years ago that played on ESPN. It's a Christian college. Mm-hmm. They played on ESPN. Played 3 games on ESPN. It's the exact same thing. They had a curriculum where the gentleman who started the school, he made up the curriculum. It wasn't online. But he would email them the assignments.
But as long as they're doing work, I'm not.
So that's
I'm
what I'm
okay.
saying.
I'm
Are
not
they
mad
doing
at that.
work?
I'm not mad at that.
Is this group doing work? We don't know.
But what Troy's saying, they can't find anything thus far. There is no learning.
Not disagreeing.
There is no learning going on at what Bishop
Sycamore.
He giving all the bishop schools a bad name. I'm just saying. So we gonna end it on that.
Yeah, let's move on.
We got a lot
College
more.
of Faith. That was they're called College of Faith. College of Faith played on ESPN 3 years ago. Look it up. For anyone watching this, College of Faith played on ESPN. It was a Bible college.
Yeah.
The gentleman started. As a matter of fact, he started opening up in 6 states. And they played on ESPN.
How do you get kids?
As long as the kids are learning, I'm all about it.
He had a biblical.
But if there's no learning going on, you ain't in school. I'm just saying.
What if you learn about the Bible?
Okay, we ain't even got. They giving the Bible a bad name right now. I'm just saying. But anyway.
I had a whole 4-hour conversation with my mama about the Bible on the highway.
We need some.
Spilling water and shit on the mop over here. I'm like, what the?
I say this every time. We're work in progress. We need some music, and I'm looking at Troy because Troy usually is my hype man because J.Mitchell over here is too cool to do anything for me.
That's not true. I'm just not asked to do it.
So that is a lie. But we're gonna get there. Let's see. 2 shows from now.
Yeah, we have it.
That's our goal.
What we need.
We got to have the music. So I have some music, but it's copyrighted. So we've got to do music that's not copyrighted.
For real for you.
I know. I would love him to do something for
I'll
me.
call him up.
That would be dope. That
For
would
real.
really be dope.
We need to use one of your
Hey,
songs.
for
man.
you know what? You might watch this. If you want to support
You need to
culturally
use one of your
distinct
tracks,
sports,
man.
yes, we would love for you to produce Jess's Juice, okay? Because I can't even I can't even get a proper lead in. So I just feel like, we need some spunk in here.
Well, bring the spunk.
It's too quiet.
You bring the
It's too
spunk.
quiet. All right. Well, we're going to start off with, I haven't heard this name in so long, Oscar De La Hoya.
I have.
Yeah.
Last time I
mean-
heard about Oscar De La Hoya, he was in the bathtub with pantyhose on.
Shut up.
I don't make the news. I just
I
report.
know,
I'm
but-
just saying.
But that was past.
That's the most present thing I've heard.
Oh, God.
The pantyhose tub layup.
You just had to go.
Oh, man.
Well, poor Oscar, he's in the hospital right now. Seriously,
Yeah,
fighting
he
for,
is.
or he has COVID. I'm not going to say fighting for his life. He actually is out of the Belfort fight now.
Yep.
So not only does he have COVID, and we do hope he recovers from this because, that's serious. And he is vaccinated. So he, of course, for
Can
the
you
fight.
say that again? He's what?
He's vaccinated. But Jackie, yeah, but guess what? He could have got much more ill.
Continue on with the story.
He could have got you had me say it again, so I'm going to say this. He would have potentially indefinitely statistically got way more ill had he not been vaccinated. So even though he's vaccinated and got it, he's doing better than he would be. So okay. Hey, you stop me. So he's out of the Belfort fight, and they're trying to have
Who's
Evander.
going to watch that?
Hey, boxing enthusiast.
I would watch it.
I know you would.
I would watch it. I love
I know
boxing.
you would. After you
Yeah.
talked about his pantyhose, you totally would. Okay, so Evander
Right,
Holyfield
so
Now that
Take
Holyfield's
that.
replacing him, I
stepping
might watch
in,
that.
but they've got to get him passed on everything. So we'll
Yeah.
see if that really happens. I mean, it sounds like it could be definitely probably a go.
Evander Holyfield is almost 60.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want to fight, though, man.
He got scrambled eggs, man.
You want to
that's what I
fight.
was gonna say. Do you want to mess up
You
your
wanna
brain more
fight.
than
He's
like?
determined.
He got scrambled eggs,
Especially
man.
since watching Tyson. He saw Tyson. He ready. He wants to fight. I
don't agree with that.
I don't
He got
either. I
scrambled
don't
eggs,
agree with
man.
that
I'm
either.
sorry.
I mean, we all
You barely
watched
talk.
Larry Holmes do Ali in at the end of his career.
I don't want to talk about
man.
that.
I
That breaks
know,
my heart.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
It breaks my
Yeah.
heart because I'm a avid Ali fan,
Come
and
on,
Mike
man.
Tyson revenged that.
And Mike Tyson took care of it, but still. I mean, Holmes was scrambled eggs when Tyson beat up on Holmes. That was wrong, too. I don't like seeing these old guys get in the ring.
I know it, man.
Getting
It's
their
sad.
head beat in like
At
that.
that point, I mean, I'm not them.
Gotta
I would
respect
just
your
want to
elders.
enjoy my life and not hurt, anything on my body more than I need to. Keep my body healthy.
You become you're conditioned though. It's like it's almost like an addiction.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
is.
that's their way of, I guess, them saying I still got it.
Yeah.
It's the respect of the sport, but you got to know how to sit on your wallet sooner or later, man. Like go
Honey.
sit down, man.
I'd be on a beach somewhere
Might not have the money to get there.
drinking my,
That's what, Holyfield
Well-
having money problems?
I don't know.
I don't know, but you would, hopefully he doesn't. He's
I
made
think
enough. So
I know
if he,
De La Hoya not having money problems.
No.
He just, trying to make some more.
So, we just wish De La Hoya the best. Seriously,
Yeah.
I hope he recovers. That's
Yeah.
serious because he was in the hospital. I don't know if he still is. He may, according to this story, which was this like 2 days ago, so he may still be in the hospital.
Yeah.
So he was hit pretty hard and is out of that. I know it was really disappointing, he said. So we'll see what's next. It'll be interesting to see what they schedule for him after he recovers. So
Nice. We'll
well, last week we talked about Naomi Osaka. Remember that?
Yeah.
We were talking about the hurricane and how she donated.
see. Yeah.
I'm sad to report this week. I don't like stories like this. So she had a meltdown. I don't know if you saw the
I did.
U.S. Open or saw the clip.
Yep.
And was getting really frustrated at her playing, and it was hurtful. It was painful to see. And she has, she's talked openly about her anxiety and depression and struggling with that. And I think she is such a courageous, beautiful young woman. for the things she has spoken out about and how much backlash she has gotten in certain communities. You know, of course, we support her, but we all know in the news and headlines, she's gotten some bashing, and this is a young woman. So I guess what I'll say is take care of yourself, do what you need to do, you know, get in a good space. And I just commend her for, you know, being courageous this far, because we have to remember how young she is.
Yeah.
And there's
Not
people.
even 25 yet, is she?
No.
Like 23 or something like that?
Yeah. And there's people our age who wouldn't even step up, you know, to this and do some of the things she's done and said and used her voice. So I just commend her for using her voice and her skills and her talent and her money to do good. And I just, you know, want her to be in a good space. So
she plays she plays an individual sport. She's a tennis player, similar to golf or a track athlete
Or boxing.
or boxing, and even more so with tennis. Like your mental is important.
Yep.
You know, you have to fight through those hard times in the middle of a match on your own. You can't call timeout. You can't go talk to your coach, you know. So you have to be mentally strong to do this. And right now, her mental is jacked up. And if she ever wants to get back to the level that she was at as a real, true, top-notch tennis player, she's going to have to figure that out. I don't know what she's going through. But I don't like seeing her on the court in this state. Broken like this, you know, because you're not getting Naomi Osaka. You're getting some screwed up version of her.
Right.
But I would say for her, you know, go get your mental in order. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
You know?
yeah. And she did say, gosh, I felt my heart broke for her. She was crying when they interviewed her.
Yeah, at the press conference.
And she said she doesn't, of course, this makes sense at this point. She says she doesn't know what's going to happen with her future. I believe, and I'd like to believe, I would hope, can't speak for her. I feel like when she rests and does some mental stuff and some self-care, I feel like she could make a huge comeback. That's up to her, of course.
Correct.
But, you know, I feel like, at least I know in my past experience, once I got to a better space and a different season, a lot of times you have a new outlook and start over again, kickstart stuff again.
Right.
So I'm just hoping that happens with her, and just wish her the best and take her time and do what she needs to do.
She says winning now is relief. Like when I win a match, I feel relief. When I lose a match, it's like traumatizing. It's huge.
You know,
letdown.
she said she suffers from anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, and so the thing about it, like, she won at 21. I think she won the Masters or something at 21 years old. So if you were an elite athlete, like, what is there more to strive for? She doesn't need any money. You see what I'm saying? And that's one. If you watch her documentary on Netflix, I watched it, and it just spoke about that. She was like, nah, you know, she didn't go to school. You know, she didn't go to college.
Yep.
You know, so the thing about it, right, you know, at 21, you're the best player in the world. Financially, you're 60+ million. What is there for you to gain in this anymore? So I would say if it's something that she needs to step away from or retire, then you do that. Then you do that.
Yeah.
Like, she's not wrong, because I don't want her to be playing for the wrong reasons. Yeah. If it's for heart of her mind, just walk away. She has enough around her, and you can see the people around, they take care of her. If you watch that document, they really take care of her. So she started the modeling thing. She started a clothing line. So she has other avenues. So to me, take your rest of this sport and you leave it where it's at, and you go live your life, because you got a lot of living to do. That's what I would say.
If you can't, that's a good point, though. If you can't find something to play for, you can't find something that drives you, you know, that's what makes people like Tom Brady special.
Exactly. Right.
You know,
right.
Talk about somebody that has everything, doesn't need anything. He still finds something to motivate him to get his butt back out there every year.
Yeah. And if you don't have
she can't find that, man, it's going to be hard.
Right. That, and for anyone in any type of profession, whether you've been on the job for 30 years, playing like Tom Brady for 21 years, if you can't wake up and find that to get you there, it's time to let it go.
Yeah, the joy.
Yeah.
She's missing her joy right now. So whatever makes her joyful, when she, you know, gets her mind together, and that's, you know, I think what we're all saying. So Well, our last story in Jess's Juice is about Dez Bryant. I feel like we're all about Texas today. Dallas Cowboys.
What happened to Dez? I haven't heard about this. Uh-oh.
I know. It's not I found this kind of fascinating. I wanted to talk about this. So he's aiming. He joined up with this guy, and I apologize. I don't have the man's name. I saw his face because I watched the video. He joined up with a business partner, and he is hoping to make $100 million with this NFT business.
NFT. Okay.
Yes. And so him and this guy designed this platform for athletes like himself to have these packages, and they want to make this money.
It's NFT. This is a new.
It's been going on for years in art.
Yeah.
It's been going on for years in art. So I think Dez is on the same path as Jay-Z. Jay-Z's did an NFT thing with someone, and huge amounts of money, because the NFT thing was they were little characters. Mm-hmm. And so I think it was like $50 to $500 million. So he's not wrong. So I applaud him for making that business sense, and whoever's in his camp say, hey, man, this is the route. Because, honestly, I don't think Dez can play anymore. Not to a point where he's going to be a factor. He's not an inside receiver. He doesn't have the top-end speed anymore. He's coming off the injury with an Achilles. I respect his talent, but if you're not willing to be that intricate player, like you're too big to go across the middle, they're going to whack you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you don't have the top-end speed now, you're useless to me. So if that's his business venture, I applaud it. Get to it.
I'm all about the entrepreneurism. So I was like, hey, do your thing, So
he says
he's
in football shape.
That's what I was just about to say that, Troy. I'm reading the same quote. He says he's still in shape and absolutely can play.
You saw him in Baltimore?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Nothing. Caught a few balls, but
But he was known for what? Taking the top off.
Yeah, he can't do that anymore.
Can't do that anymore. Right.
That part of his game.
So are you willing to transcend your game to what the team needs? Yeah. And if he's not willing to do that, once again, I don't know if it's pride. I don't know if it's because, he had some ego issues as well. But no one's want to deal with that. No. You're going to have to pay him a certain salary because of the years he's played. He was a first-round draft pick, so it's a lot comes with him.
Hey, make your money, Dez.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. So that's all I have for Jess's Juice today.
Okay. Good deal.
Jess's Juice. Squeeze.
We did. Right. Squeeze it out. All right. We're going to move on to some happy stuff.
What are we talking about?
HBCU Hot Spotlight.
Okay. So, and I don't really have much on this, but I just saw an article about Deion Sanders pubbing up the idea of merging the SWAC and the MEAC. And one of the things Deion said whenever he first took that job at Jackson State that I really liked, we know he wanted to go to Florida State. That didn't happen. Opportunity came at Jackson State, and the first thing I heard him say was, you have NFL caliber HBCU athletes that aren't getting the recognition that they really should.
No exposure.
Nor the exposure. And Deion being in the SWAC, being at Jackson State, that alone is going to bring some exposure. So the fact that he's in the SWAC, the fact that he's pubbing the SWAC and the MEAC, if you want to turn this into some big mega super conference, great. And I'm all for it. But I think things like that plays into what he first mentioned when he first came to Jackson State. We need to get some exposure to these athletes that are at these HBCUs. So I like it. I think it's a great idea. Apparently the MEAC, a spokesman for the MEAC, made a comment saying if we can take the SWAC and the MEAC, to mirror something like you see in the SEC, then that's what we want to do. So I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah. And I think with the teams that came over, the Bethune-Cookmans, the FAM, they entered into the SWAC.
Yeah.
So in doing that, I think they see it.
Yeah.
The possible merger, things happening. It's on the forefront. But like you said, when you have someone, with Deion's pedigree, they're going to listen to him. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but they are going to listen to him. And you can see, since I say his second season. How many games are on ESPN now?
Exactly.
You know what
we
I'm
just
saying?
talked about that last week.
Just talked about it.
I
So
mean, you'd be a fool to say Deion had nothing to do with that.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
And just being a spokesman and not being afraid. And I watched some of the highlights from them playing FAMU, and I just appreciate what he's doing. With how he's making his team look.
Yeah.
That was big for us. We couldn't. When we were in college, no facial hair. You had to keep clean shaven.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't look crazy.
Yeah.
So you had to look presentable and professional. So I applaud that.
Up.
Pull your socks up. No spat. Like we couldn't do none of that, man. We was the cleanest football team.
None of that.
None of it.
You
Coach,
appreciate it now, though.
yeah, you do. But back then, guys wanted to be flashy.
Trying
But
to
we come
swag.
in the locker room, coach like, man, take it off.
Yeah.
Like take it off. Paint on your face. Take it off.
Take it
We
off.
Like, man, what are we doing? We're playing football. But he tell us to knock the tape off of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic.
Speaking of, can we just bring this up real quick? Speaking of colleges, have you seen all the homecomings being canceled because of COVID?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
I just hope ours isn't.
Right, because I'm coming. I'm joining that.
Yeah.
I got you invited. See, Jackie likes to play this role like he didn't invite
You forgot
me.
about the invite already. Huh?
He didn't forget. He did not forget. He's just conveniently having amnesia right now.
I'm outta here.
Everyone's invited to our homecoming.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everyone's invited to Southern's homecoming. I'm sorry. You've never been. Get there.
Yeah. So I'm coming if
Come
it's
on.
not canceled. And that's what we're doing. My son it's funny because he had posted something on his story. He was like, ours is canceled, but we're going to be up in Howard's if theirs is.
That's it.
So he's just transferring over there if they don't, his is canceled. So, yes.
Gotcha. Enjoy it, man. That's what it's about.
So, well, we're going to get into some NFL kickoff
Yes.
stuff. NFL kickoff
That
games.
time.
Yes. And J.Mitchell, you're our resident pro on all this, so I can't wait to hear everything you got to share over there. Don't look at
I don't
me.
have a lot of time, so I got to make it fine. So this is the thing. First off, though, I
Which
want
one?
to
Who we
give
like?
condolences to David Patton, former player for New England Patriots, who passed away. I think on September 2nd, motorcycle crash, and also former teammate of mine, Kevin Franklin, who also played with the Raiders, passed away of COVID. So to their families, I want to give my condolences and my sincerest, prayers to them.
Definitely.
You just never know. So, life is precious. So thank you for that. But going into this week one, there's going to be some things. So, of course, everybody's talking about Thursdays, and that's between the Cowgirls and
gosh.
the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
need
that.
to have a rule on here about name calling teams. We can't be.
I'm sorry, the Dallas Cowboys.
We can't be professionals calling teams names. That just
Cowboys.
can't. I'm not
Dallas
allowing it.
Cowboys.
There you go.
Versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to be politically correct today. But I think the biggest thing about that game, it's a lot of matchups. You got Jaguars and Texans. You got the Chargers and the Washington football team. To me, keep your eye on the Browns and the Chiefs game.
Yes.
Keep your eyes on the Broncos and the Giants game. Keep your eyes on the Ravens and the Raiders game. Keep your eyes on the Packers and the Saints games. Keep your eye on the Cardinals and the Titans game, because, and there's many other, but to me, also the Steelers and the Bills, you got to watch out for them, because that between those two, to me, that's going to control who the division winner would be, and really those two.
Yep.
So in doing that, of course, this is Dak Prescott's coming out party. He's coming off the injury. They had to rest him from the injury, even though he had the break, had some shoulder, all camp. So they say he's going to play.
Okay.
So going back to what Troy said earlier, protecting him up front. Can he get the ball down the field? He has a few more weapons now. But once again, you're going against Uncle Tom. I'm sorry. You're going against Uncle Tom. I'm sorry. They're still loaded.
They are.
They are loaded. They are loaded.
They returned everybody.
Everybody.
The whole team.
So, I mean,
Look
even
at
the
Troy's
trainers.
eyes.
I'm just saying.
His eyes are.
Even the trainers came back. That's all I'm saying.
Well, everybody, man.
It was no turnover in the Bucs organization. So, in doing that, please watch out for that. As I stated, the Browns and the Chiefs, the reason being back, you got ODB coming back.
Yep.
Chiefs, played in the Super Bowl, and then last year the Browns beat them. Didn't they beat them last year?
in
Early
the regular season.
Regular season, yeah, early season. So
and had them on the ropes in the playoffs.
they did.
Had them on the ropes in the playoffs. Mahomes went down with an injury, and they had to squeeze out a victory.
That's it.
I like that. That's my favorite game this week.
Is it?
Chiefs and the Browns. Absolutely.
I thought you'd want the Packers and the Saints.
I mean,
that's given.
Yeah,
that's all. Okay, we'll talk about them.
I was
Okay.
trying to give you some credit.
No. I know, because I'm saying, like, believe it or not, with these matchups going into this week one, this can really decide the fate of many, many teams.
Yeah, man.
Because to me, it's been so many moving pieces in trades and cuts and pickups and new people coming to teams. To me, it's complete parity in the league now. Like anyone
can beat anybody.
Exactly.
On any given week.
So, like I said, even
you're right.
speaking of your team, you got a new quarterback, Teddy B. You get the Giants, you got Saquon Barkley coming back.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Denver's defense is going to be back in order this year, too.
Yeah.
Man.
I think
They
so,
had a lot
too.
of injuries last year.
exactly.
So, Troy, what he's saying is our teams are in there.
Denver,
Everyone's in there.
Our teams are in
right
there.
now.
Everyone's in
Everybody's
there.
in there right now.
Everyone's 0-0 right now.
Yeah, they're in
So-
there right now, man.
Everyone's 0-0. So the Cardinals and the Titans, that's huge because you're coming back with Kyler Murray. You're going to see the new offense with the additions that the Titans added. You always got the trouble with Derrick Henry. You know, he's I don't know what you want to call him. He's a freak of nature. You know, somebody 6'3", 240, running that fast, that powerful. But with the Cardinals, with the addition that the Texans let go, you got Hopkins, you got Fitzgerald's coming back. You added some additions to his run game, gave him some protection. So hopefully the young quarterback doesn't have to run for his life, you know, the rest of the season. But it's going to be –
Fitzgerald didn't come back, did he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Like yesterday? When did he come back?
No, he's back. I mean, but he's playing. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's back. It doesn't matter.
Come on, man.
Father Time is back.
There we go.
I thought he said – I thought I read somewhere that he said he wasn't feeling it this year.
Hey.
but
Did you hear he retired? He's back. That's all I'm
Where
saying.
he's going with it.
Come on.
I'm
with
just
it
saying.
then. All
I'm
right.
just saying. I'm not gonna hang my hat on it. But Steelers and the Bills gonna be a defensive game.
That's going to be a nice one, too.
I'm gonna wait to see how Ben and Haskins are gonna play out with Tomlin, but also with the Bills. I mean, they got everything.
Yeah.
They got all the pieces to be successful.
Man, Haskins won't see the field unless Roethlisberger is hurt. Or it just completely falls on his face,
Okay, I don't disagree.
you know. But
But did he? I don't feel like Ben did. I don't remember seeing Ben in the preseason.
he didn't play in the preseason.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying.
didn't-
Like I don't remember
he
seeing
didn't
him
play in the preseason. But we talking about the Steelers, man. I mean, Steelers always in the mix.
They are.
I don't care
Tomlin's
who's
done
playing
a great
quarterback. They're
job.
going to figure something out.
Right.
Shit.
I would agree. I would
Yeah.
agree. So for week one, for anyone who's out there, starts on Thursday. Thursday night football starts with the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I would
Who you
love
got?
to hear who I have. I got Tampa Bay. I'm
Tampa
sorry.
Bay.
I got Tampa Bay.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not going against Uncle Tom.
I mean, the line
sorry.
here said 7.5.
I mean, as much as it hurts me
7
to say,
points. The
So-
line is 7.5.
It doesn't matter.
That's big in the NFL.
I'm going with Tom Brady
Yeah, no doubt.
because he has all the tools.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your Grunt, you got your Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
you got your Mike Evans, you got your Fournette. Like you have a defense. Like
Yeah, they got it all.
you got it all. You got your Grunt, man.
I
Like
mean, whatever. I'm taking the
think
Cowboys just because.
And it pains me to say that, but yeah,
you think they're gonna win?
I do.
The Cowboys?
I
Yeah,
do.
yes,
Coming
they
out,
can.
yeah.
You
I
want a
think
better
they
drink online on air?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, viewers, followers, subscribers, understand the bet was just made. She has the
Here he
Cowboys.
goes.
I have the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Way to go out on
Drink
a limb
online.
there, Jackie.
Troy,
All on the line.
Way to go out on a limb.
I'm
I'm
going
picking
out-
Tom Brady week one.
Hey, week one.
I know, right? Right.
She made it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Troy's in this too because he got the Cowboys.
Yeah, I
so,
got the Cowboys,
So
too.
he's in this bet too.
I'm taking the
2-1.
Cowboys.
You got to
I'm taking
buy
the
us
Cowboys.
2-1.
drinks.
I'm okay with
we
that.
we
That's
buy
fine.
you 2 drinks,
I'm fine with
or
that.
you buy us a drink.
I have no problem.
So there you go.
Say what you want.
No doubt.
All
Cowboys.
You heard it
They
here
figured it
first.
out. Cowboys got more talent on offense. They got a better offensive line. They got better receivers. They got a younger, more athletic quarterback. They got a better running back, better coach. They got the greatest owner ever in the history of Okay, I'm going to stop.
Well,
I was like, what are you talking about right now? I was like,
I'm trying to find something for you, Cowboys.
no,
Goddamn it.
no.
so we'll be getting our drink
Yeah.
next week.
No
on
doubt.
that note,
Come on, Cowboys. Shit.
this is culturally Look, let me try
See,
that again.
the Cowboys got you all jumbled and
Shush.
mumbled because Uncle Tom coming to town.
Yeah, no doubt.
This is Culturally Distinct Sports. I'm Jess with J.Mitchell, Troy. We will see you next time.
We out here.
Follow on
Culture Distinct
right here.
Sports. Culture Distincts podcast.
Yeah. Everywhere. We everywhere.
What you got on that
Check us
Starbucks
out.
cup over there?
not a darn thing. I need something. All right.
We didn't talk about it, but
Oh,
are we all there?
no, go ahead. We got one more minute technically.
Do we?
Yeah.
Technically. Now that I just did the whole
Yeah,
closing.
the University of Alabama is really good at football. Y'all know that?
Oh,
They really, really are.
yeah.
They beat the
Yesterday?
brakes off of
So
somebody.
they are
else.
really good.
yeah, yesterday. And I'm sorry about
At
your
football.
team too.
Whatever. They got issues in Baton Rouge, but
I'm just saying.
I don't even know this kid's name, and I'm texting.
Wide receiver.
No, the D lineman, number 31 for
31.
Alabama. I don't know what his name is. That Alabama is really good across the board. They
We'll
proved.
continue
They
this
proved
next
what
week.
they proved to me is last year their second team was top 10 in the country.
Did that surprise you that they're
No.
really good?
I mean, they lost half their team. They lost how
Yeah.
many
No,
starters?
they
They
don't.
only got like 3 or 4 returning
Can't wait to have
starters.
this conversation on another topic.
Come on,
on
man.
another
Let's
day.
get out of here.
Offline. All right.